was 1983. And it was a time when sexual abuse was just starting to be talked about publicly and was starting to make some headlines. There was a pretty famous case in California called the McMartin daycare case. And after that case kind of exploded onto the national scene, grant money became available then to design programs for children who had been abused, who were going to be involved in the prosecution of cases. And so a grant was applied for at Houston Metropolitan Ministries, where we began. And then I was hired to come in and help develop that program.
Interfaith Ministries, where the Children's Court Services was originally housed, was changing their focus. And so they went looking for a home. And Pam Hobbs came over and visited with Ellen and myself and made a proposal that this might be a good place for them, and we agreed readily. It was a very good place for them. We already had children's counseling, and that was one of the little niches that was missing, is the connection between children and the court system. The Children's Court Services gives them a home to go to, some place that understands what their needs, some place that will help them navigate that system, some place that cares about how they're going to do in court, how they're feeling about court, and making sure that they have a good outcome, whether it's guilty or innocent. It's not the issue. It's whether or not the kid walked away feeling like they had power, they had some control, and they were able to affect an outcome that they could live with. And Children's Court Services still does that. They've been doing it, they still do it, and I think that children who are in the court system, all of them need that support. And they meet their need.
The amount of change has been tremendous. And there weren't a lot of these cases being prosecuted because people weren't sure what to do with kids in that scenario. The court system was never designed with children in mind. I don't think, as the laws were written, anyone thought that a 5-year-old would be sitting on the witness stand and having to go by the rules of evidence.
It's now a part of the penal code that children who are testifying as witnesses in these criminal cases be allowed a support person to sit up by them and be with them in close proximity as they testify in criminal court.
My concerns had to deal with them actually being able to go in, tell their truth, and feel empowered enough to do so, and also to not feel threatened, but to feel safe. And I believe that Children's Court Services went above and beyond to make sure that that happened. Our advocate, Sabrina, came in. She had a team of people there willing to help us in any way possible. She made sure that the children understood what the courtroom would look like. She asked them if they had any questions. She was willing to take all of the time needed to explain everything to them, explain the process to them, stay with them, make sure that they were okay. They did an awesome job. It came with a significant amount of comfort, and that made a world of difference because honestly, with there being multiple children involved, I would not have been able to do it alone. And it was really nice having that support.
We have wonderful partnerships in the Houston community. We have very much a multidisciplinary approach to child abuse cases now, which has just been amazing. The impact on these cases has been so positive, and the impact on the children themselves has been so positive.
The parents don't know the process. The parents really can't tell the child what to expect. And Children's Court Services comes in and they are very calmly and reassuringly able to prepare that child. Also, as a prosecutor at the time, it meant that I could focus on the trial and what I needed to be doing to best serve the case, because I knew that there was somebody who was looking out for the emotional well-being of that child.
My first interaction with children was when I was assigned to our child abuse division here at the DA's office. I had no experience talking to children at all. I was really, really nervous when I met with them for the first time, but thank goodness for Children's Court Services. They taught me everything I know about interacting and talking with children. I think that one of the most important things for families is that they are kept in the loop. They want reassurance and they want to know what's happening with their case. Children's Court Services does a tremendous job of making contact with victims' families, letting them know what's happening with the criminal case, and providing them with information about what to expect as the case proceeds through the criminal justice system.
I've seen the program, I've seen those advocates meet families right where they're at. It literally gives them their voice. Without the advocates, many of these children would not be able to go through the court process. It would overwhelm them in a way that they wouldn't even be able to tolerate getting up there and testifying. So it literally gives voice back to them.
Most kids are anxious about testifying in court. That's a normal thing. They're anxious about having to talk in front of strangers. They're worried about, will the defendant be able to get to me? They're concerned about whether anyone will believe them.
I recently had a case where 2 little girls, 11 and 8, were sexually abused by the perpetrator. They went to trial. We did court orientation. They said several times that they were scared of not only being in court, but of what he would do, or if he was able to talk to them or make any faces at them. So I sat with them while they did testimony. They held my hand throughout the whole process. They were so brave. And then towards the end, once they were done, they gave me a big hug. They told me how happy they were that I was able to sit with them and guide them through that process. I was also able to empower them and make them feel heard.
I think one of my greatest moments was the very first time a little boy walked out of the courtroom after having walked in all hunched over and kind of nervous about the whole thing, who walked out with his shoulders back and a smile on his face and said, "I did it. I did it." And then every time I heard a child say that in that situation, that just, for me, that has truly been success, when children can feel like no matter what happened in the courtroom, that they can feel like I did it. And it's a sense of accomplishment, and it's a sense of validation for the experience that they went through, that they felt believed, they felt supported. For me, that is success on every child, and the greatest privilege of my life has been to work with these kids and families.
Although it was a horrible thing that happened, it was very nice to have a service like this in place, because before your situation, you never know about services like this. But once you're in that situation and you have the help, you have people who are knowledgeable and willing to take time with you and for you, it just means a lot, more than words can express.
I just want to say thank you. It has always been an honor to work alongside them.
Happy birthday, Children's Court Services. We're looking forward to the next 35.